Okay, the time is now 1 o'clock. We'll start our Monday, April 3rd Commissioner meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the first item on our agenda today is Maria Nancarrow from Easterseals-Passages. Yep, that'd be great.
I just have a quick update on the funding that we received from the county. The funds allowed Easterseals-Passages to ensure the transportation was secured for many community inclusion events, including internet education and collaboration with the Peabody Library, cooking education with Purdue Extension, business tours, and community-based field trips and education. So we want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah, that's my house state.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next up on the agenda is Nathan Bilger with a plat approval and rezoning request.
Good afternoon. Start with the rezoning request, if you don't mind.
Yep.
This is coming to you from the Plan Commission with a unanimous favorable recommendation. The Bakers own the landscaping company on South State Road 9 and the railroad tracks. They actually own the house north of that as well. Currently, it's zoned IN heavy industrial intensive use, and that's a legacy from previous uses. They, for various reasons, wish to rezone it to partially AG agricultural, the part that's being reviewed residential, and the part that's business, rezone that to IPM industrial park manufacturing. So essentially it's a down zoning into two different pieces. Again, comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. Any questions for me?
I don't have any.
I have none. I'll make a motion to approve the request as presented.
Okay, and that would have an ordinance number of 2023-06. Would you include
Yep.
that in your?
Ordinance 2023-06.
And I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand.
And then the plat approval is a one lot plat located on 450 East in Smith Township to be named Nation Subdivision. This is a somewhat unique shaped plat. However, it is still just a one lot plat. Comes to you with from the Plan Commission, again with unanimous approval. At the Plan Commission, there were a couple questions about what would be built and a little bit of concern that this might allow for additional houses. However, this one lot plat is just basically splitting off the existing house. So those questions were addressed. Any questions?
I have none.
Pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. I don't have any questions.
I'll make a motion to approve the request as presented.
And I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand.
I'll meet up with you afterwards since this is so large.
Yep, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the 2024 holiday schedule. I've had a chance to review and I'm comfortable with the schedule.
I am as well. I will make a motion to approve the 2024 Whitley County paid holidays.
And I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. The next item on the agenda is a discussion about our Whitley County webpage. And there's been a lot of talk about this. Teresa, do you want to discuss that, or do you want to
Sure.
bring that up?
So we've been looking at a few different options. We just want to make sure that what we choose has really good security and is user friendly. So we should be close to making a decision on that. So that website will be easier for you all to use.
We've just been looking at ways that we could make our webpage more user friendly, just something that is refreshed, cleaned up, and something that's easy to use. So that's what that's about. And then public relations discussion, which is another thing that we've talked about in light of, recently there's been maybe some, I'll call it misinformation. And we're looking at ways, we're thinking outside of the box. How do we get information to our constituents, to our base? And so we've discussed a public relations person who could potentially manage like an official county social media platform. I mean, I'm welcome to you. We're welcome to you. Saying anything
Yeah,
about that?
sure. So obviously, as Commissioner Banks stated, a lot of you after, I'd say the last year, would like to be more informed. So we're just looking at different avenues to do that. Obviously, many people don't read the paper anymore. And we're a little bit behind on that. So we're just looking at different ways to reach everyone.
So we have met with 2 people so far about proposals, just asking them to give us proposals, what it could look like to manage an official social media page for the county. That's where we're at now. We've just simply met with people and we're starting to receive proposals. The next item on the agenda is a 4EOS quote, and I don't think it actually made it to the agenda, but this is the quote for the servers at the courthouse that are currently full. And the proposal is to switch from a 2 terabyte to a 6 terabyte server. And the new server would allow for additions without replacing the server. You can add more space without replacing the entire server. Currently, there's only 52 gigabytes free on the server at the courthouse. So we have a quote from 4EOS for $13,140. And I would recommend that we move forward with 4EOS replacing the server.
Yes, so the server that the courthouse uses to save all of the information is getting full, so we just have to upgrade that. Obviously, there's certain documentation that they have to save. So I would make a motion that we approve that as presented to make that upgrade.
And I'll second that motion and call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising their right hand. And that passes unanimously. I had a chance to review payroll and accounts payable claims. Some of that had been reviewed by Commissioner Shipman prior to leaving for vacation, but I was able to look at what was out and available for me to review, and I found no issues. And so I will make a motion to approve payroll.
And I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And payroll passes unanimously. And same with accounts payable. I found no issue. So I will make a motion to approve accounts payable claims.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Previous meeting minutes. Have you had a chance to review?
Yes, I will make a motion to approve the March 20th, 2023 Commissioner meeting minutes.
And I second. And call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. I know you have a couple things to add to the meeting, so we'll just.
Yeah.
open up
So
to that.
our highway department, they are looking at purchasing a new truck, one from 2006. It has tons of miles on it. And Katie, if I remember right, the transmission's going out. Is that correct? And it did go out. And it's just really not worth putting a new one into it when there's probably something else right around the corner that's going to go wrong with it. Commissioner Shipman is not here today, so we will continue that to the next meeting. And also, as many of you know, we started a broadband committee, and we have Dale Book here from the EDC, and we also have 2 members back there. Would you guys like to come up and introduce yourselves? Yes.
I'm Chris Todd. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for Northeastern REMC, and I'm one of the members of the Broadband Commission.
Yep, and I'm Brandon Farrell. I'm the owner of the Payroll Group, real estate company, team here in town, and I'm excited to be on the task force committee as well.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming. At our last meeting, we discussed hiring a consultant to help us to pull everything together with the task force. There's obviously a lot of grant dollars coming out here in the next year, and we want to capture as many of those as possible. So we want to be smart about it and make sure that we're doing everything correctly. So I have forwarded on a contract to do that to the other commissioners. Obviously, there's no ask today, but these funds, I would request that they come out of the ARPA funds, since that's one of the uses that it can be used for. I'm also going to, along with Dale, tomorrow going to be just presenting this to council so it's on their radar. And then if you want to put it on our agenda for the next meeting. And Dale, I don't know if you want to speak to that at all.
Yeah, so just, as we put this group together, and again, there's no ask today, but just to prepare you, we were looking at a consultant who's also working with Wabash in DeKalb County. And again, a next level connection, round 4 for grant money is coming out in the next couple of weeks. And then there's also some federal dollars that will find its way to Indiana, almost $1 billion of rural broadband. So we wanted to put a group together, obviously, to go after those funds that are becoming available. But then also one of the things about the consultant they're looking at is he's got relationships with like 35 different internet service providers. We need to kind of figure out what everybody's doing, because people are kind of doing it one-off. The team is going to make sure, we're a task force that understands just what everybody's doing. So we'll get you some more information and some time to review that proposal, and then we'll have more of a formal request.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks
Thank you,
for
gentlemen.
participating in that
Yeah.
committee. Appreciate it. I know you guys both have busy schedules, so we do appreciate your participation.
Yeah, happy to help.
Thank you, gentlemen, for making time to come today.
So this is a fast meeting. There's nothing left on the agenda. But I'll open it up for public comment. If anybody here today has anything that they'd like to speak about, if you could just come forward to the microphone, introduce yourself, and we'll allow for 3 minutes per person. And just for clarification, that's one time, 3 minutes, not multiple trips to the microphone. So if anyone has anything that they'd like to talk about today, please come forward and introduce yourself.
So, quick background number, nothing's been decided yet on the solar panels.
Yeah, if you could introduce yourself for our
Sorry,
meeting
Judy
minutes.
Rowland, 3606 South Meridian Road, Columbia City, Indiana. So the solar panels are still in the limbo?
Right, so we enacted the moratorium, and we have a meeting scheduled with the planning and building director on next Monday, the commissioners and the planning and building director, to discuss our path forward.
Okay.
So nothing has happened in the meantime.
And I just wanted to ask you, are you guys obviously familiar with this? This is I net copies of it off the website for Whitley County, and it has this, it has the ordinance on it, all the ordinances. Do you guys know what, have you seen it?
I have not seen
Can I
it.
pass it down or don't you?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Thanks. I made copies for you. And there's another one for you. And here comes another one.
Oh, yes, I did see this. I'm not sure where this came in front of me, but I actually think I just looked at
Now,
this
is-
today.
I read the tip off of what the county commissioners say. Now, is none of this is set in stone yet, right? Because you guys have the last say in this. Because I seen on the second page, that the solar people panel are already wanting to make a change to something that was suggested. So if you guys are taking suggestions, I have some suggestions.
We'd be happy to hear them. I'm not sure about during this platform. I think there's
Okay,
going to be
I can-
opportunity for public involvement later on, but
Okay, that'd
we'd be
great.
happy to
Well, I-
discuss after the meeting or
Okay,
whenever.
fantastic.
That'd be fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure. But just for clarification, you don't have to come back up. This came from Leeward's webpage?
No, it says here, it's, all I can tell you, can I get close to you or not?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I guess I didn't get too close. When I printed this off, it says, we continue to appreciate the efforts of Executive Director Bilger and the Whitley County Planning Commission in drafting the solar code amendment to the county zoning ordinance. And it says it's the Whitley County proposal solar code zoning ordinance. And that's all I can tell you is what the front
Yeah, I'm
says,
just-
so that's what I went by.
Yep, I just wondered where exactly it came from.
I thought I got it off your webpage, but
Off
I've
our
been on the
webpage.
internet a lot,
Okay.
okay?
Nathan's shaking his head yes, so.
Yes, okay, hey, great.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll allow that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, on this paper, it has all these ordinances that we have, like Clinton, Elkhart, Jasper, Rush, White, a state model ordinance, and Whitley Solar. So it has all of their ordinance that they feel that should be enacted for their county to, I would like to think, protect their county, their residents. And so I just had some questions on the noise ordinance, because last week we heard what the noise could be. And we have like 50, Elkhart says there should be no audible from non-participating parcels. So they're saying they don't want to hear nothing in Elkhart. But we're saying we should hear 50 decibels. And that's up to our dwelling. So that's what all these ordinances are. And I was just hoping we could go over them. If we have to have the solar panels, I like to see some of us who may have to live around it protected from the noise. And there's like questions on the buffers. That could definitely be.
Yeah, no,
that
I
could
get it.
definitely be
Thank you.
improved and-
Yeah,
Okay, so that's what this, I can give you a copy since Rob, do you want Rob to have a copy or you?
we can make a copy for Rob, that's
I'll
fine.
just give her one of these, how's that?
Yep, that'd be
Okay,
great.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kim Patterson, 4880 West, 500 North. And first, after hearing all this, seeing the agenda, and thank you for considering the problems that everyone has in acquiring information. It's all over the place. We're no longer, in that situation where there's only 5 TV stations and 1 hometown newspaper. It's really hard to get information. And when there isn't a lot out there, it's really hard, especially with poor internet service, to find what you're looking for. Hours can be spent searching when there's very little there. And also on that note, Allen County has done a very nice job over the last year. Just a nice webpage, like link, I guess, separate tab off of their county website, laying out all the different things with their jail project. There's links to documents and schematics that we haven't seen here in this county. Things that we've been told that we can't see, they're showing their county. So in addition to your idea about having an official social media person, which is great for live feedback, but it's also hard to search back through that to find answers. So maybe that live option, but also someplace like, like the blog kind of idea where stuff's laid out and links are there, because for each project, just another thing, but that wasn't exactly what I was coming to bring up today. I've been speaking out about the jail issue since January. And if you didn't know, the reason I spoke to a county council meeting in January, because really late December was the first I had heard of it, was because a county council member had told me that funding, the vote still needed to come back to the council because it hadn't been done yet. So even it sounds like some county council members, and I know there are other people in the county that believed it still had to go back to them, because I was told by several people. I spoke at that time about safety with the issue, or safety with the location, the poor lighting on Connection Way and Opportunity Drive, the lack of sidewalks, the poor road conditions, and the speeds of officers. And really the only answer on those things that I've received is from the mayor saying that sidewalks are not a possibility at this time. If you talk to people who frequent that roadway, if in the nighttime or in the dark hours, you probably find someone that's almost hit somebody in dark clothing wandering up and down that roadway at night. I know I almost have, because I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who they are, but they wander out there. And when you're adding officers maybe responding quickly to events coming from that lot, tucked back there with that only one point of access, you're just asking for trouble without improving something back there. I still feel, and many other people feel, that this location is a poor choice for our city and our county. It just doesn't look good. We're the only county providing this poor of access to our responding officers. All the other counties have direct access onto highways, main roads, and then with, asking for more access, they haven't had any response on that. In the 1980s, the citizens of Whitley County were led to believe that the jail could be built up. And I still think there are plenty of people in the county that still think that's the case, even though that conversation has spread quite a bit. So with this location, with this lack of access, you're taking a nice looking building, a $40 million project, and you're tucking it back way off the main roadways. You're not, and there's wetlands and trees behind it. It's blocked by a solar farm. What access when there's future business development, when the US 30 project goes through? The most recent one says that State Road 109 and 30, Armstrong Drive and 30, and Lincoln Way and 30 will be over under passageways. So then what quick access? Our sheriffs, that's city. We're expanding our ETJ. So their response area is even further out, but there's the access for those officers is going to be reduced if that's what happens. Where's that interchange going to be that they have to get to? Go past more businesses? Are there going to be more businesses on Connection Way and then further down Lincoln Way? It's just going to slow them down when they're leaving from that area. And so our taxpayers being fooled again in this situation by saying, well, sorry, in another 20, 30 years, oh, we bought 15 acres, we have room to expand. We have this great pod system, there's new technology and jail design, and we can do that, but now our officers cannot get to where they need to be in a good amount of time, in a respectable amount of time. So really, is that our $40 million answer to the downtown overcrowding problem? So really, a lot of people are still looking for for answers to these issues about lighting and sidewalks and roads and officer speed. Will there be a limit? And then also, what about future accessibility? Most people don't even know where Armstrong Drive is, where Armstrong Park is. The only reason a lot of people have wandered back there is because they heard that there's a solar park back there and they wanted to see what it sounded like. None of the pictures that have been provided show where the access to Opportunity Drive or from that lot are, unless you're spending time back there. And it really, it's a big issue and some things still need to be answered on this. And dirt is moving and there are no silt fences up, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Amy?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Just an impromptu, given the recent weather conditions that we've had in our area. Amy Biggs, Whitley County Emergency Management. Severe Weather Preparedness Week was a couple weeks ago. And it's hard to think about severe weather on a beautiful day like we're having today. But we have been working with some of our adjacent communities that have experienced damages. Fort Wayne, Allen County specifically had 2 tornadoes that have been confirmed. We were on a conference call earlier this morning where they're investigating 14 overall throughout the state of Indiana. So just an awareness for our community. We are in the path of severe weather. We are anticipating severe weather potentially Tuesday into Wednesday. Whitley County Emergency Management uses our platform on Facebook, if you don't follow us, to communicate the weather and the resources. And we are in contact on a regular basis with all of our local partners. So just an opportunity with today's meeting to express that severe weather timeframe is here for Indiana. And we're doing our due diligence to do everything we can to keep everybody informed and ask that you also remain weather aware. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Anyone else? Tiffany, do you have anything to add? Commissioner Basinger?
I think I covered everything. Thank you.
And I do not have anything to add. So at this time, we'll adjourn the meeting.